A stunning princess, a love-struck prince, and a confession of love where not a single word was spoken. A lotus flower in her hand, a touch to the ear, and the bite of her teeth. Did you know that within these strange gestures, the princess had hidden both her name and the way to her home? But the story doesn't end there. Where there is love, there is also deep betrayal. Will the prince escape through his own wit, or will he fall into the poisonous trap set by the princess? An incredible tale of conspiracy and intelligence. Let's begin.
In the city of Kashi, there ruled a king named Pratapmukut. He had a son named Vajramukut. One day, the prince went to the forest for a hunt with his friend Ashtavakra. While wandering, they found a beautiful lake filled with blooming lotuses and frolicking swans. The two friends stopped there, washed their hands and faces, and went to the Mahadev temple nearby. They tied their horses outside and entered for prayers. When they stepped out, they saw a princess who had come to the lake with her companions to bathe. Ashtavakra sat quietly under a tree, but the prince could not restrain himself and stepped forward. As the princess looked at him, he was instantly captivated by her beauty. The princess also kept looking at him. Then she performed a series of gestures. She took a lotus flower from her hair, touched it to her ear, bit it with her teeth, crushed it under her foot, and finally pressed it against her heart before leaving with her friends. After she left, the disappointed prince returned to Ashtavakra and shared everything, saying, "I cannot live without this princess, but I don't know her name or where she lives. How will I find her?" Ashtavakra replied, "Do not worry, she has told you everything. Prince, nature speaks in signs, and a woman is a form of nature itself." "How?" the prince asked. Ashtavakra explained, "Touching the flower to her ear, she signaled that she lives in Karnataka. Karna means ear. Biting it with her teeth, she meant she is the daughter of King Dantabat. Dant means tooth. Crushing it under her foot, she revealed her name is Padmavati. Padma means lotus or foot. Pressing it to her heart, she signaled that you now reside in her heart." Hearing this, the prince was overjoyed and said, "Take me to the country of Karnataka at once." The two friends set off and reached the destination after several days. Near the royal palace, they found an old woman sitting at her door spinning yarn. They approached her and said, "Mother, we are traders. Our goods are following behind. Please give us a small place to stay." Seeing their noble appearance, the old woman felt motherly affection and said, "Son, consider this your own home. Stay as long as you like." They settled in. Ashtavakra later asked her, "Mother, what do you do? Who else is in your house?" The old woman replied, "Son, I have a son who serves the king. I was the wet nurse, Dai, for Princess Padmavati. Now that I am old, I stay home, and the king provides for me. I visit the princess in the palace once a day." The prince gave the old woman some money and said, "Mother, when you go tomorrow, tell the princess that the prince she met at the lake on the 5th day of the bright half of Jeshta has arrived." The next day, the old woman delivered the message. Upon hearing it, the princess acted angry. She smeared her hands with white sandalwood paste and slapped the old woman's cheeks, shouting, "Get out of my house!" The old woman returned and told the prince what happened. The prince was stunned, but Ashtavakra explained, "Prince, do not worry. Understand her signs." By slapping with 10 fingers covered in white sandalwood, she meant that there are 10 nights of moonlight remaining. Once they pass, she will meet you in the dark of the night. 10 days later, the old woman visited again. This time, the princess dipped 3 fingers in saffron, orange, and struck the woman's face, saying, "Run away from here." When the prince heard this, he became distressed. Ashtavakra calmed him, saying, "She is telling you she is having her menstrual cycle. Wait for 3 more days." After 3 days, the old woman went again. This time, the princess scolded her and pushed her out through a western window. Ashtavakra interpreted this immediately. "Friend, she has called you tonight through that very window." Overjoyed, the prince dressed in the old woman's clothes, applied perfume, and armed himself. At midnight, he reached the palace and entered through the window. Princess Padmavati was waiting. The prince was amazed by the luxury inside. He stayed with her all night. At dawn, she hid him, and at night they would be together again. Several days passed. One day, the prince remembered Ashtavakra and worried about him. Noticing his sadness, the princess asked the reason. He told her about his clever friend and how they met only because of Ashtavakra's intelligence. The princess said, "I will prepare a grand feast for him. Go, feed him, comfort him, and then return." The prince took the food to his friend. Ashtavakra grew suspicious and said, "You did not do a wise thing." The princess realized that as long as I am with you, she cannot fully control you. She has sent poison in this food. To prove it, Ashtavakra fed a piece of the food to a dog. The dog died instantly. The prince was horrified and said, "God save me from such a woman. I will not go back." Ashtavakra said, "No, we must now find a way to take her to our home. Go back tonight. When she falls asleep, mark her left thigh with a trident, trishul, and bring back her jewelry." The prince did exactly as told. When he returned with the jewelry, Ashtavakra disguised them both as ascetics, yogis, and sat in the cremation ground. He told the prince to go to the market to sell the jewelry, and if caught, to bring the guards to him. The prince went to a goldsmith near the palace. The goldsmith recognized the princess's jewelry and took him to the police chief, Kotwal. When questioned, the prince said, "My guru gave these to me." They were all brought before the king. The king asked, "Yogi Maharaj, where did you get these jewels?" Ashtavakra replied, "O king, I was performing a dark ritual in the cremation ground on the night of Kali Chaudas. A Dakini, a witch or demon, appeared. I fought her, took her jewels, and branded her left thigh with a trident." The king hurried into the palace and asked the queen to check Padmavati. When the mark was found, the king was devastated. He took the yogi aside and asked, "What is the punishment for such women according to the Shastras?" Ashtavakra replied, "O king, if a Brahmin, a cow, a woman, a child, or a dependent commits a sin, they should be exiled from the country." The king followed this advice and sent Padmavati into the forest in a palanquin. The prince and Ashtavakra, who were waiting for this opportunity, rescued the princess, took her to their own kingdom, and lived happily ever after.